I no longer feel afraid about climate change. I just feel empowered because I know that every day I'm doing my best on this issue.
Hi there, welcome to Everyday Climate Champions, where we speak with community members here in the San Francisco Bay Area about how they're putting real climate solutions into action.
Hi listeners, thank you for joining us. Hasini Parepalli and
Isabella Genereaux,
your host for this episode of Everyday Climate Champions. Today's topic is youth taking climate action in the Silicon Valley. Belle and I are both freshmen in high school. We became interested in how to address climate change and wanted to find ways that young people are getting involved. During our research, we discovered the Silicon Valley Youth Climate Action. Today, we're talking to Peri Plantenberg, who is part of the Silicon Valley Youth Climate Action, also known as SVYCA. You'll get to know all about SVYCA and learn things like what the group is involved in and why these actions are important, not only to the members of the group, but also to the communities all across the Silicon Valley and beyond.
Peri Plantenberg is the chair of the leadership team of Silicon Valley Youth Climate Action and is a freshman at UC Berkeley. Thanks for being a guest on Everyday Climate Champions, Peri.
Thank you so much, and I'm super excited to join you for today's podcast episode.
So Peri, can you please give us a quick introduction about yourself?
I attend UC Berkeley, and I advocate for climate-smart laws at a city, county, and state level. Over the last 6 years, through climate organizations and by giving speeches, I've had the honor to engage more than 17,000 people on environmental topics. Silicon Valley Youth Climate Action, or SVYCA, is a youth-led nonprofit that empowers teens and young adults to combat climate change through impactful education and policy initiatives.
Why was Silicon Valley Youth Climate Action created?
So although SVYCA is youth-led, SVYCA was founded in 2019 by 3 adults. I joined SVYCA on the day it was founded at a climate summit that had 200 attendees, and I was immediately struck by the adult co-founders' commitment to effectiveness. 3 years later, I still hear this inspiring sentence: "We don't have time to waste on anything that doesn't make a large impact." SVYCA is all about strategy. We utilize strong adult mentors, effective advocacy methods, and hardworking youth to accomplish our goals. I believe climate change is so crucial to take action against. It is such an urgent issue, and I spent much of my middle school and high school searching for an organization where I could make a huge impact. I knew that I could not look myself in the mirror if I didn't do everything I could to combat climate change. I'm so thankful that I was in the right place at the right time, and I discovered SVYCA because it has changed my life. I no longer feel afraid about climate change. I just feel empowered because I know that every day I'm doing my best on this issue. It is so rewarding seeing members of SVYCA make a huge impact and become empowered.
What are some common misunderstandings about your work?
One common misunderstanding is that SVYCA is just another youth-led organization, but SVYCA is so much more than that. This is the most effective youth-led climate organization that I know. We speak at city council meetings, work with elected officials, and send advocacy letters, sometimes with more than 100 signatures of support from constituents. For instance, in 2019, we advocated for all-electric building codes in the city of Cupertino. We were successful, and Cupertino passed one of the strongest all-electric building codes in the state of California.
What is the hardest part of your work?
One thing I've learned is that students and youth care about climate change, and they just don't know how to take action. One method we used to alleviate this is we created a video curriculum on climate change and climate solutions and implemented it at Fremont Union High School District. We engaged more than 8,000 students on environmental topics and empowered them to take action.
What are some of the actions and projects that SVYCA is taking currently?
One recent initiative is we organized candidate forums in some cities in Santa Clara County. And the purpose was to feature elected officials and inform voters of their stances on climate topics. We also, in the past, have organized workshops on leadership and career skills and advocacy to make sure that students and community members alike have access to the resources and the knowledge they need to be effective climate advocates. We also organized speaker series to accomplish the same purpose and overall educate the public on environmental topics.
Awesome. What actions or projects is the SVYCA planning to take in the future?
In order to engage more youth and grow this movement, we will continue to organize events and initiatives to engage the community and engage students.
This topic and the actions and projects that you're taking now and in the future, why do you find them important?
One thing I've learned is that policy change at every governmental level matters. And SVYCA focuses on not just city policy, but city, county, and state policy. I have seen that the impact of our initiatives and our efforts on one city can have a tremendous effect even at the state level. I have seen that, for instance, if one city bans natural gas or declares a climate emergency or mandates electric infrastructure in new buildings, other cities will follow suit. And it's not only cities that influence each other. If enough cities agree to something, the county or state government often follows their lead. And that is how we make change.
Why is it important for young people to get involved in climate solutions?
I believe that climate change is the most urgent existential threat that we face today. When it comes to personal actions, such as biking to school or eating less meat, I believe it doesn't matter which actions you take as long as you publicize the impact you make. However, personal actions are not enough. We need to galvanize voters and demand action from elected officials. There are absolutely intersections between focusing on greener consumerism while also understanding that there are higher systems that we need to acknowledge and we need to make more sustainable and make more environmentally friendly at a high level through policy change.
What past projects stand out as the most impactful or the most interesting to you, and why?
In 2019, we organized a strike with 2,000 attendees. It taught me that our voices are powerful. The goal of the strike was to show elected officials that their constituents care about climate change and we demand action. We accomplished our goal. The strike was effective and elected officials have been more receptive to our policy efforts as a result. However, it is important to note that we need something like a strike to get elected officials' attention, but we also need to follow up. And I think SVYCA has been incredibly effective and strategic in that process and in ensuring that not only do we garner this attention through strikes and events, but also we follow up and make sure that these ideas are implemented into policy. Since 2019, we've continued to make huge progress. SVYCA, in the span of 3 years, has expanded from 15 students to more than 50 youth leaders. We have successfully advocated for dozens of policies, including 14 signed into law by Governor Gavin Newsom at the state level. SVYCA is still growing, and I'm so proud of the youth leaders and adult mentors who have made this impact possible.
What cities are you currently working in?
We have student teams in 7 cities, including Cupertino, Sunnyvale, Santa Clara, and several others. And we also have a San Mateo County team, a Santa Clara County team, a Santa Clara County Transit team, and of course, our state policy advocacy team.
Is SVYCA planning on expanding their reach to other cities?
Yes, and in fact, we expand based on student volunteers. So if there is a student who is listening to this and you're interested in starting a team in your city, you absolutely can. And we will provide mentorship and we provide all of the resources you need to make that happen. And then you can be a co-lead of that city team and galvanize people to join. And then you can make effective policy change in that city.
How are new members introduced? Like, what's the process for them to join?
New members can sign up for SVYCA by going to SVYouthClimateAction.org and going to the Get Involved tab. And you can fill out a quick form indicating which teams you are interested in joining. Once you submit that form, the co-leads of the teams will reach out to you and they will invite you to an orientation where you can learn a bit more, and they will get to know you and your interests and experiences and how you want to best get involved. Then you can jump right in and start contributing and making a huge impact. I also want to emphasize that through SVYCA, I have not just learned advocacy skills, but I have also learned organizational skills, leadership skills, time management skills, and career skills. And you will not regret joining SVYCA.
It's so amazing what you're doing and what your organization is doing. Are there any final thoughts that you'd like to share that we didn't already cover?
A common poster that I've seen at climate strikes is, "We need a future to be the future." Youth have been told over and over that we are the future. And the thing is, with climate change, it's right now. And so I am taking action, not just for my future, but for my present. I am taking action for my generation and all generations. I believe that in this fight against climate change, by collaborating strategically with climate groups, working with elected officials, and empowering others to use their voice, we have a good shot at safeguarding our planet.
Thanks again, Peri, for your time today and for showing us how young people can work together to advance climate solutions right here in the Bay Area.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much, Bella and Hasini, for inviting me here, and it has been a huge pleasure.
Hey listeners, Peri has shared some great resources on how to get involved with Silicon Valley Youth Climate Action and other youth movements for climate solutions. Please check out the show notes below to follow the links. For this episode of Everyday Climate Champions, the sound designers were Dennis Heisem and Kayla Ancho. The executive producer was Dahlia Masachi. We're Hasini Parepalli
And Isabella Genereaux.
Our full production team is listed below in the show notes.
You've been listening to Everyday Climate Champions, presented by the Climate Reality Project's Bay Area chapter. If you know any local folks who would make great guests, please drop us an email. As Climate Reality founder and former U.S. Vice President Al Gore says, solving the climate crisis is within our grasp, but we need people like you to stand up and act. To learn more, please visit climaterealitybayarea.org. See you next time.